In the 19th century American Wild West, few outlaws were as notorious as William Preston Longley, also known as Wild Bill Longley. Born on October 6, 1851, in Austin County, Texas, Longley quickly gained a reputation for his violent temper and deadly skill with a gun. Throughout his short life, he was involved in numerous gunfights, robberies, and murders, and claimed to have killed at least 32 people. In this video, we will explore the life of William Preston Longley, his criminal beginnings, his reputation as a Wild West outlaw and gunfighter, his capture and trial, and his eventual execution. We will also discuss Longley's legacy and his impact on Wild West history and popular culture. William Preston Longley was born into a family of Texas farmers in 1851. His family lived near the Colorado River, and Longley grew up in a rural, frontier environment. As a teenager, Longley was involved in a number of scrapes with the law, including horse theft and assault. In 1869, Longley committed his first murder. He shot and killed a man named William R. Lewis, who he claimed had insulted him. After the killing, Longley went on the run, living as an outlaw and avoiding capture. Over the next several years, Longley continued to commit crimes and evade the law. He was known for his sharpshooting ability and his quick temper. Longley claimed to have killed at least 32 people, although the actual number is difficult to verify. His reputation as a dangerous outlaw grew, and he became a wanted man throughout the state of Texas. In 1875, Longley was finally arrested and jailed for a murder he had committed the previous year. He was sentenced to prison, but managed to escape by digging a tunnel out of his cell. He spent the next 2 years living as an outlaw before being captured again and sent to trial for murder. Longley's reputation as a Wild West outlaw and gunfighter continued to grow during his time on the run. He was known for his quick draw and deadly accuracy with a pistol, and he reportedly engaged in numerous gunfights throughout Texas. One of Longley's most famous gunfights occurred in 1874, when he shot and killed a man named Timothy Williamson in Gonzales County. Williamson was a deputy sheriff who had attempted to arrest Longley for stealing horses. Longley shot Williamson 3 times and then rode away, leaving the deputy to die. Longley was also involved in several other high-profile crimes during his time as an outlaw. In 1877, he and several other men robbed a train near Giddings, Texas. The gang stole thousands of dollars in cash and valuables, and Longley reportedly shot and killed a man during the robbery. Longley's reputation as a cold-blooded killer and notorious outlaw made him a target for law enforcement officials throughout Texas. Bounty hunters and lawmen alike were eager to capture him and bring him to justice. Despite this, Longley continued to evade capture for several years, moving from town to town and engaging in criminal activities whenever the opportunity arose. In October 1877, Longley was finally captured in Evergreen, Texas, by a group of Texas Rangers. He was taken to Giddings, Texas, where he was put on trial for the murder of William Scott, a man he had killed in 1876. During the trial, Longley claimed to have killed over 30 people, including Scott, but he insisted that he had only killed in self-defense or in the heat of the moment. Despite Longley's claims, he was found guilty of murder and sentenced to death by hanging. Longley's family and friends launched a campaign to secure a pardon or commutation of his sentence, but their efforts were unsuccessful. On October 11, 1878, Longley was hanged in Giddings, Texas. Longley's execution was a major event in Texas at the time, and it attracted a large crowd of onlookers. After his death, Longley's body was buried in an unmarked grave, and his legacy as a notorious Wild West outlaw and gunfighter lived on. Today, Longley's trial and execution are seen as a defining moment in the history of the American Wild West. His story has been the subject of numerous books, movies, and TV shows, and his legacy continues to be debated by historians and Western enthusiasts. William Preston Longley's execution was a significant event in the history of the American Wild West, and it marked the end of an era of lawlessness and violence in Texas. After his death, Longley's reputation as a notorious outlaw and gunfighter only grew, and his story has since become a part of Wild West folklore. Longley's legacy is a complicated one. Some see him as a symbol of the lawlessness and violence that characterized the Wild West, while others view him as a tragic figure who was caught up in a world that was changing rapidly around him. Regardless of one's interpretation of Longley's life, there is no denying his impact on the popular imagination of the American West. In recent years, Longley's story has been the subject of renewed interest, with historians and writers seeking to re-examine his life and legacy. Some have argued that Longley's reputation as a deadly killer was exaggerated, and that he may have been a more complex figure than he is often portrayed. Others have pointed to Longley's troubled childhood and difficult life circumstances as factors that may have contributed to his criminal behavior. Regardless of one's interpretation of Longley's life, it is clear that his legacy as a Wild West outlaw and gunfighter has had a lasting impact on American popular culture. His story continues to be retold in books, movies, and TV shows, and his name remains synonymous with the lawlessness and violence of the American frontier. In conclusion, William Preston Longley was a notorious Wild West outlaw and gunfighter whose legacy has had a lasting impact on American popular culture. Born into a family of Texas farmers, Longley began his criminal career as a teenager and went on to become one of the most wanted men in the state of Texas. He was known for his quick draw and deadly accuracy with a pistol, and he engaged in numerous gunfights throughout the state. Longley's life came to a violent end in 1878, when he was hanged for murder. Despite his death, his legacy as a Wild West outlaw and gunfighter continued to live on, and his story has been the subject of numerous books, movies, and TV shows. Today, Longley's life and legacy continue to be debated by historians and Western enthusiasts, who seek to understand the complex factors that led to his criminal behavior and his enduring place in American popular culture.